Greetings and salutations, my name is JW608 and today I am playing StarMade. And it is time. It is time that I build a real spaceship. I've been fiddling around with the new systems. I think I have a grasp enough to actually build something. And of course it's not going to be a finished product, but you know that. But let's map out the particulars here. Alright, so I want to build a frigate. So let's see here. Why are you building a frigate? Because I like to say the word frigate. It's fun. It is a frigate. Alright, so I guess that's also the reason I built a schooner earlier. Because I like the word schooner. I also like clipper too. But anyway, I'd like a bridge. Now, in my own personal ship classification, because someone would say, oh, that's a battleship, oh, that's a cruiser, oh, that's just a one-man fighter. And the only thing I can base my classifications off is myself, comparing my ships to my ships. The Corvette, I had it, what? No, don't export nothing as a model. Corvette. The Emperor class Corvette was... I wish to give more data there. So what, 100 meters long? 8. Is that a bird outside my window? Go away, bird. Actually, it sounds like it's behind me. Huh. Okay, anyway. This ship is... Stats General... 104 meters, so about 100 meters or so for my, Corvette. What are you doing? I am putting the block here, so I know this is... Oh no, I'll remember this is the front. I was worried when I popped up the Corvette, and that was Galactic North. I was pointing that way. So anyway, so my frigate, my previous frigate, well, my first frigate was like 100 meters long, and it was like a third of that ship's capacity. The Corvette's there, but my last one was about 250, so I'm going to shoot between 200 and 250 meters. The idea for the frigate is generally that's just a rough estimate for size that I want to constrain myself to. Lengthwise, I can go up and down pretty good, but the idea for my frigate is that it is completely self-sustaining. Well, not self-sustaining. It is able to complete a mission in deep space by itself. It does not require a any type of support. Whereas the Corvette can probably do that, but it's not a long-term thing. It doesn't have proper defenses. It doesn't have a great weapon system. It has enough to scoot by and get a job done, but to do like a planetary bombardment or launch an attack or take on a station, it really, really needs backup. I would like a frigate basically to be able to take on a station with minimal support, maybe like fighter or bomber support, but that's the general idea. So 200 meters wide, and let's say the bridge, I want the bridge to be about 10% of it. So let's get some of this, and let's actually copy paste my bridge floor here. Paste. And that's 10, 15. 20-meter long bridge, that's probably fine. 30. 25. That's fine. And of course, I always like to have a floor below the bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just for logic and whatever happens to come up that needs to be under the bridge. Like troubled water. Alright, so let's see here. So I have a bridge and a layer under it, a floor under it. Okay. Now I have to ask myself the big questions. Do I want it on a tower like I traditionally do, like a Star Destroyer type tower? Or do I want something else? Let's see, let's do a little mock-up. Traditionally I have the body of the ship, then I have the bridge, and engines are back here, and it comes down and has this kind of clunky nose. Usually this comes like that. That's the basic shape of all my ships, more or less, all my big ships. There we go. Sometimes like that. You can see that in the Corvette just a little. See it, this triangular than the block that comes down and dips down. A little less so with this one. This one has more belly to it. And the front isn't as thick. But I'm also thinking about, like I did with the Corvette, reinforcing this front plate, having this like a heavy armor shield. Because this is going to be primarily an assault vessel, assault support, all that jazz. So it wants to be facing things head on. Okay, so, but I've also been thinking, do I want like a asymmetrical design? Like, stick the bridge off to one side on a tower. Oh, I could do like the, was it the Venerator class Star Destroyers? The Republic Star Destroyers that had the two towers for the bridges? Huh. I need to make that decision now. Let's see. I think I don't know. See, we could line up all those systems on one side. No, we're going to keep it symmetrical. All right, so we are now going to start throwing in systems. 5 chunk there. Now, well, how do I want to do this? I don't want it directly under the bridge. Let's see. Let's pull up my old frigate. We're going to use this as a base. F1 and F8. Build mode. Let's see. It had its reactors down here. How tall is this thing? 63 meters tall. So usually I'll go ahead and I'll build my at least parts of my RP stuff. I also don't want these huge chunky hangars. I want a hangar of some sort, but I want it more integrated into the ship better. That's the one thing I don't like about these old designs, is the big chunky hangars. You know, the big chunky hangars that just kind of jut out and don't smoothly integrate. Maybe the whole ship needs to be chunkier. Huh. Might need to be, anyway. So this is what, 63 tall, 253 long, 79 wide. How many floors do... I guess that's a good place to start. How many floors do I want? And this one came down to a central hub. And the offices, living quarters, hangars, and the bays. I believe the bays... Yeah, the bays went to their own thing, to a secondary troop bunk. What was it, 4 or 5 floors? So now that I have a general idea of how large, if you will, I want this ship. Let's see. Let's start just blocking some of this out. I would like an empty floor here for whatever. Do I actually want a tower, or do I want it more integrated? Less integrated. I don't know. No, I want an actual tower this time. So we're going to come down like that many blocks. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 5, there we go. And so I'm going to dedicate all this to tower. Then This will be like a hub. Let's see. I want some display blocks to map this out. So we're gonna put this display block here, just commenting my code. Hub level. So the hub level, I also want, not basic, I want gray standard. Gray standard. This is where, no, not the display modules. This is where the skin of the ship will be. Well, more or less. Not so. There we go. There, and then this will come in and down and all that jazz. And give me a proper tower to it this time. And then again, the question, do I want it to be an offset tower? Huh. Tell you what, let's come down one more for the hub. 4, 5. And let's do the hub level here so I have 5 in between, or 5 layers in between the armor and the hub, so I could do more armory type stuff for stick systems or whatever. So we're going to call this a hub level, or not really hub, it's just the level that's going to be the first of the RP levels. And I definitely want residential, living quarters, offices, maybe engineering type thing. Let's see here. We're gonna give us 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna give us our 4 decks. Maybe a 5th one if we need it. Okay. So let's also go ahead and at this point we're going to go right here, and this gives us 101 meters. Let's shoot 50 meters off the back. 51 meters. Alright, so let's take that to 75 then. Oh, 75 meters. This is going to be the base, or the not the base, it's going to be the front of the ship, basically. And we're going to set up just a little temporary reactor. Are you setting up just a little temporary reactor that's like twice as big as it even can be without stabilization? Because I want to move it so I won't be building into my current, or my old ship. Hey, you know, your ship moves to the side better if you don't hold down F. Instead, hold down D. Let's give him a few more thrusters. Right, and let's bring her all the way up. There we go. So it's another 25, another 75 off the front. Oh, and this is roughly the length I'm shooting for. Roughly the length. Alright. So I'm also going to get rid of this reactor before I forget it's there. Alright, mainly I wanted to move away from that thing, or move away from being behind it. Now, do I want to start to mess up my... I definitely want to do something better with the engines. See, they just kind of come and just whoop. I want to like integrate it into the design. So I love my frigate. It's one of my favorite ships, but it needs to be better. And I think we can build it better, we can build it stronger and faster and all that. But now that I have a rough plan, 4 decks, a bridge, I don't know, I'm going to take the weekend, I'm going to look at pictures of spaceships. I'm going to decide whether or not I want a dual bridge, or I want an asymmetric bridge, or a symmetrical bridge. If you have any ideas or suggestions, leave them in the comments. Although I do think for my big ship, my battleship, I do want an asymmetric design. Or if I do a carrier, I know I want that to be asymmetric. Alright, anyway, I have been JW608. This has been StarMade. I will take you cats later.